last day of June, Thursday, June 30th, 2022. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. President Biden has announced plans to permanently place new U.S. personnel in Poland and air defense batteries in Italy and Germany, as well as take a host of other steps as NATO reinforces its front line. Ben Wolfgang reports the deployments were announced during this week's NATO summit in Madrid. They provide some answers to lingering questions about the Pentagon's plans in Europe during Russia's war on Ukraine, which appears destined to drag on indefinitely. The number of U.S. forces in Europe has grown from about 65,000 to more than 100,000 in the 4 months since Russia invaded. Military officials have been dogged by questions about how long those forces will remain in Europe and what metrics the Pentagon might use to determine when they could redeploy elsewhere or return home. The announcement makes clear that the United States is prepared to enhance its presence in Europe for the foreseeable future. At least 90 members of Congress have gone on to work lobbying as foreign agents since the year 2000, according to a report from the Quincy Institute. Ryan Lovelace reports foreign interest in Turkey enlisted the most former lawmakers, 16, with governments and groups in South Korea, Taiwan, Saudi Arabia, and China not far behind. The Quincy Institute research identified both former Republican and Democratic lawmakers performing the legal influence work. Former Senate Majority Leader Tom Daschle, former House Majority Leader Dick Gephardt, and former Michigan Congressman Bart Stupak have all done work for Turkish interests, while former Louisiana Republican Senator David Vitter has done work for a Chinese state-owned video surveillance company. A cybersecurity company says China conducted a sophisticated disinformation campaign against a company building a rare earth minerals facility in Texas for the Pentagon. The cybersecurity company Mandiant disclosed the efforts this week, Bill Gertz reports. It said Chinese actors used social media in a bid to discredit Lynas Rare Earths Limited, an Australian company, and other rare earth mining firms to undermine the critical supply chain for the elements. The Pentagon has signed an agreement with Lynas, the world's largest rare earth mining and processing company, to build a plant in Texas. China has aggressively moved to dominate the global market for rare earth minerals, which are indispensable to many cutting-edge technological products, including smartphones, flat-screen TVs, and batteries. You can read all these stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page. Also, a quick note that the front page will be off tomorrow for the Independence Day weekend and will return on Monday, July 4th. Millions of Americans will spend part of the Independence Day weekend standing in long airport lines, squeezing onto crowded and delayed flights, or even worse, scrambling to make other arrangements after their flights are canceled. Sean Salai reports airlines have struggled to replace the pilots, cabin crews, and counter staff lost over the past 2 years, even after receiving an infusion of cash from taxpayers during the heart of the COVID-19 pandemic. The airports they serve also face critical shortages of workers, including security personnel and air traffic controllers. Almost 800 flights were canceled Sunday, and another 747 were canceled on Monday, according to FlightAware.com. Those frustrations haven't dampened Americans' desire to travel, however. AAA predicts that 47.9 million people will drive or fly this weekend. That's up 3.7% from last year, and almost back to pre-pandemic levels. And finally, they've never been good friends and now appear to be political enemies. But the odd partnership between Donald Trump and Mitch McConnell ended up giving conservatives their biggest win in a generation. Susan Friecchio reports the justice's decision overturning Roe v. Wade achieved a major goal of the conservative movement, sending the authority to decide abortion law back to the states. It was made possible chiefly because of the actions taken by McConnell, the Senate Republican leader who controlled the consideration of judicial nominees while his party was in the majority, and Trump, who as president was able to nominate 3 justices to the court during his term. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on Twitter and Instagram at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. And a reminder that the front page will be off tomorrow for the Independence Day weekend and will return on Monday, July 4th. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.